Down the inside,
What a move!
Back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me.
Oh, how has he managed that as well?
Wow.
Will he go on the inside? Oh, he tried it. Oh, Squidgy's out.
Big crash there. Turn 15, isn't it?
Oh, no. Oh, he's dropped. What a move for the SF.
Wow.
Jolly, world champion for the second time in a row. Radal is a four-time champion. And Harvey is the F1XL Season 17 champion. Good evening and welcome everybody. We've got 30 seconds until our F2XL F2 race. One shot qualifying is nearly about to begin. We will do a little bit of chat, I'm sure, between the qualifying and the feature race, but it is my first week doing F2 races, so this is going to be an absolute cracker, I am sure. After watching last week's one, it was phenomenal. We're going to pick one driver. So I'm going to get to it, if I can, quickly. Caesar to Wizard is the guy I'm going to be following. And to be honest, we're not going to show anything else. Canada is an absolute cracker of a track. We've never had an F2 race at Canada in real life, as far as I am aware. So, Mr. Tazo, how do you think, obviously after a great race for him last week, how do you think Caesar to Wizard is going to handle this one?
Yeah, I think he's going to do very well, to be fair. I think he's going to be the guy that everyone's going to be hunting down because he was the fastest last week. And we've already seen Forensic crashing out there. But I think that, barring a big surprise, I think Caesar to Wizard is probably going to be right up there again. But I think you need to look at guys like Lightshock and Codename Delta last week, both having excellent weeks as well. I think there's going to be so much action, and this is going to be a good one. So feet up, relax, and get ready for an hour and a bit of just pure joy in overtaking.
Everything he's doing at the moment, Caesar, and I know we've got two of them, looking really tight through the hairpin and into 11, and obviously that little kink now, that is 12. Not that really is a corner, it's a bit like the Russian corner, it's not really a corner. But as he come into...
I think this is a corner where everyone needs to be careful. That's where people will validate
at
the chicane.
The Wall of Champion chicane is a massive one, and we don't know who's going to be pole. Light Shock is disqualified. Carbon is disqualifying as well. Forensic not having the best of it. Frosted. So big names disqualified early doors, but who is going to get pole off the bat? It's codename Delta.
It's back-to-back pole positions for the F5 driver. Last week it was half a second. This week it's 0.2 of a second. But once again, a very impressive lap by codename Delta.
And you look at that, if, Caesar to Wizards obviously stepped his game up a little bit, but Beastie, 0.6 of a second back. It's close after that, but those two in a world of their own. You just wonder what Light Shock would have done. That disqualification,
That disqualification was a 16-1. Not a 16-1, an 18-1, sorry. So you're doing on pole position.
And
he's made a mistake somewhere.
He is fuming. He's fuming in the chat. He says that he did not cut the corner. So he is absolutely fuming. Now, Canada is it's a favoured track. And, a fair play to Delta. Claiming pole. What a lap. What a lap from him. It's looking a little bit dark, a little bit grey. We might see a little bit of rain. This feature race, we'll double check to see. Let's have a look at if it'll let me. It will. Most people are at the moment starting on the softs. Now, I know we had a little bit of I don't want to say disagreement. Our two strategies for that. You were thinking a lot of people might starting on supers, while I thought softs would be the way to go. Now, if they stay this way, obviously we're looking for a one-stop, or do you think these guys?
I think for tire usage more than anything, a one-stop has to be the option. Because if you go into the two-stop, you're then having to use tires in the second race potentially. I'm not saying definitely, but if you make a mistake on a set of softs, or you lose a wing, you have to get a new set of softs, then you're probably going to be killing your race at that point. I think the one stop for pit stop time as well. I think we obviously discussed pre-race that it was something like a 30-second pit stop round here, which obviously Canada's normally a good one for pit stops. But if you're going to be doing 2 30-second pit stops in a race, you're probably not going to be contented at the end, are you?
It's more viable to do the two-stop here, I think, than anywhere else, though. Because of it being that much of a short, you miss the whole of turn 1, don't you? And 13 and 14. So if you're going to do a two-stop, if you're that type of inclination, I suppose, this is a track to do it. Obviously, we're waiting for the guys to get ready for this, not formation lap.
It's formation lap.
Well, the fixed feature race, I will get it right. And obviously, they're not allowed to pit before lap 3. That's the other big thing here. Is it lap 3 or lap 5? I know there's a pit window here.
In real life, it's lap 6. You can't do your mandatory pit stop within the first. I think it's the 6th lap. So unless we assumed based on last week and the fact that people had to pit again, it's within the first 3 laps. So I think anything outside of that, you can then do your mandatory pit stop. Obviously, with the real life F2 rules being mandatory pit stop, you have to do it at some point during the race, but you can't do it under a VSC and you can't do it within the first number of laps.
And I know that really messed up, Roland last week. He's starting P4 here, though, so big possibilities in the way things are. I say possibly going down. That's a really weird way to say it, but quick. Talk about the standings, I guess. We've not done that yet. Caesar 2 Wizard leading the way on 35 points over last season's champion. Oh, I say last season's champion. The last time we had an F2 champion was Light Shock. He's not at the best of races. Obviously, really struggling now in 14th place as well. But, you look at it. Light Shock is still a great driver. There's nothing taken away from him.
Oh no, he's going to be the one to watch. He put the fastest time in the qualifying there, and I think he fights through this grid. He's better than a lot of these guys, and that's no disrespect to anybody. You know, he's now already he's now finding himself 14th on the grid, and he's now joint second in the championship after Codename Delta picks up 4 massive points for another pole position. So pressure's on him to try and make an impact here.
So when this race, before this race starts, Codename and Lightshock, same amount of points. So everything to play for there. Alpaca Carbon's already disqualified. There's 2 more disqualifications coming in. So I'm not sure what is going on with the guys out there today so far. But 16 of these drivers have got 20 laps here for the feature race to really get themselves going, get themselves all wound up. I love the sound of these cars, to be honest. They've just got, I don't know why, there's just something about them. We'll wait for the drivers all to pop in. I think we're just waiting on the last forensic there to pop in. Taz, quickly, who's going to win this feature race?
I've got to back Caesar. A lot of the people that I would have said are nowhere near where I expected them to be. Lightshock, Frost, and Alpaca, just to name 3. But all over to you, Gareth.
Right, we're on 5 lights here at Canada. Beastie's the man to watch in P3. It's always a good start, and it seems to be a very slow start from the second row of the grid. I think Roland's actually got a really good start, and I think Codename Delta has dropped behind Wizard into turns 1, into turn 2 now, and the Wizard has taken the lead. There's a yellow flag, and I think Beastie's managed to hold off Roland and quicked it up into P5 as well. I think Matt 45 is having a word with Forensic Narwhal, and I think he's got to move down, and then there's an ART going well wide there. Is that Roland really struggling to keep it on the track? And that's Quickdid now up into P4. What a start for Quickdid there, and Caesar up, and Matt 45 and Narwhal battling away as well, and Beastie still going strong. Matt 45's teammate though, just managing to stay ahead of Narwhal, who's really struggled.
Yeah, very, very good start for multiple guys in there, but in particular, Alpaca Carbon going from P15 to P10 already. Keywon won in the first corner, probably didn't see it further back, but he went into the back of somebody, lost an end plate. I think that might be a pit stop for him, but he might try and hold out. Also on top of that, the other big winner there was, Frosted was, and then he's dropped back down again, so mistakes there, but Premac didn't get a single point last week from either car over both races. This week, I think we're going to see a different story.
It's all over the place. Obviously, Wizard at the moment, I think that was a bit of end plate flying off the World of Champions as well. But Wizard, fastest man, which is kind of understandable with the start he's had. Let's continue on board with Narwhal, though, as looking behind, totaled Caesar, that is, struggled through turn 2, I think, there. But Narwhal trying his best to get up to Matt 45, but let's see what Quickdid can do, because he's all over the back of Beastie, and give Beastie his due, he's really battling at the moment.
Yeah, Beastie had a very strong second race last week. I think that's where he got the chance to show a little bit more pace compared to the first race. First race I don't really think went his way. Quickdid just did not have anything last week, and I think someone with the pace that we've seen in F1 of Quickdid, I expected more, so I think this week will be rejuvenation, I think, of the quick man himself.
Narwhal is really pushing Matt 45 at the moment, and look at that in the background as well. That's Frosted, Hubbard and Alpaca, I think, but I've got to stay on board with this because Narwhal is really pushing Matt 45. I know we gave him some praise earlier, Matt 45, of his defensive work, but Narwhal really trying. Will he go into turn 13 with a move? He won't, and he's just going to keep on pushing Matt 45 around here. He's definitely got the pace advantage over him, but does he have the overtaking opportunity? Here he comes into turn 1, up the inside. He is going to keep his nose up in there, and Matt 45 really struggling. Will he switch back through 2? I don't think the opportunity's there anymore, and Forensic Narwhal having to stick behind, and this is frustrating because Narwhal, I think, really does have the pace over him.
Absolutely, I think Narwhal is showing some fantastic pace. It's almost like he's trying to push Matt into a mistake by just putting his car in positions to maybe make Matt go slightly wide at a couple of corners and taking advantage of it. But struggling at the moment, he needs that DRS to come quickly. But you know what? He's going for it now. Going for it. He's going to get him under braking. I think this move is going to be done, and there you go. As we say about it, Narwhal gets past, and now we'll see what the true pace of him is. He's already 3 seconds behind Roland in P5.
Carbon lost it. I don't know if there was contact through turn 8 there with one of the other drivers, but just in the background, as we saw Matt 45 being overtaken by Narwhal, Alpaca Carbon around, but like you say, 3.5 seconds between Narwhal and Roland. That is a huge gap, and it's a long way for these guys to go. Pit stops might help, but now Matt 45 on the offensive of Narwhal, and he's going to get a 3-second time penalty for starters, but also DRS to assist him in attacking Narwhal.
I'm just looking further down the grid. Hubbardie is under attack from basically everybody right now. Further up the grid, he's got Lightshock right behind him. He has Frosted who's got past him. And then even further back, you've got Key11, Forensic, and Alpaca, and Dom in a 4-way battle further back as well. So battles all up and down the grid at the moment.
Lightshock a little bit too wide there through turn 5, and I wonder if that's wing damage. Front left. Oh, it's not really the best of.
Yeah, he's got wing damage on the front left.
So not
if
what
you go on board, you can see there's a little bit missing on the left side compared to the right side when he's turning there.
So I looked on board with Hubbardie and gave me the information that we needed. But let's have a look at positional changes here as a yellow flag there, and I think that's Forensic having a nightmare at the moment.
Jump board round, no end plates either.
It's really struggling throughout, and not what we expected at all. Everyone's starting on these soft tyres though, so like we mentioned earlier on, that if you need to pit early, then you're in trouble. You're pushing yourself into a 2-stop strategy, and I wonder if anyone will. And there is someone darting into the pit lane. I think that's Lightshock into the pits in the Callum Ilott car. Let's see what he does. Does he push himself? I've got to do a 2-stop no matter what anyway. Is it the Super Softs? It is the Super Softs with a new front wing, and Jupwood doing the same. Let's go on board with the battle for the lead, because Beastie's starting to lose a little bit of ground, as is Quick did. Beastie, I think, was able just to pull himself through a little bit with those DRS ranges that he's had, which has meant he's managed to pull away from Quick did and Roland in P4 and 5 respectively there. And, what are you looking for pit stops here? Lap 14 with the softs?
We're looking somewhere between sort of laps, I'd say 13, 14, 15. Depends on how people are feeling with their tyres and what sort of times they're putting in. The pit stop's going to be so important because obviously the cool tyres, when you come out, you need to get them up to temperature as well. If you've got guys who pit earlier than you, the undercut is definitely likely. But codename Delta here making a chance on Caesar by the looks of it. And is he going to make the move into the first part? He's going to back out just now, but I think codename Delta, I have to admit, that absolute respect for the lad right now. He is performing above and beyond what we expected, and he's going to move coming into turn 1 here.
A little kick to the right hand side. He's going to try and go around the outside of turn 1, but not enough. He's going to keep his front end in there, and wow, he is keeping it going. Well done, Delta. He's got to keep battling away. Will he have the inside into turn 3? He backs out of it just to come and make sure there's no issue. Speeding into the pit lane. Penalty for Key11, retirement for Lightshock as well. But this battling is keeping Beastie involved now. This is probably not what Caesar and, Wizard and Delta would have wanted. There is Lightshock's car just stricken in the side there. And Matt 45 has retired from the session as well. Is that into the pits? He's not having the best of days either after some great battling with Forensic. And Forensic's actually losing ground to Roland now. But here comes Delta. He's seen Wizard make a mistake into the hairpin the lap before, which is able to give him a chance. Will he have a go? He won't, but it's deep again from Wizard. And he's got really alongside him, but it's just not enough traction through.
Fair play. You know what? Caesar is doing everything he can, and Delta is just using everything available to him. And this time going to the left, coming up towards turn 13 here, and he should, and there's a little bit of wheel banging, and codename Delta's round and in the wall, and contact with Beastie as well. I think Beastie's got damage, and I tell you something, if I was Delta, I don't think I'd be overly happy with that there.
Somehow Delta's not got front wing damage, but he's now got his teammate for company. Beastie 1 second behind, and I think Roland is going to make a move on Quick did. He tried, but it's not happening there. I'm not sure what's happened to Lightshock, but unfortunately he doesn't seem too happy. Hopefully he'll give us a little bit of an information of what's going on Maybe throw it in WhatsApp to one of us Light Shock so we can have a bit more information. But let's have a look at Roland as Quick-Tid back end nearly steps out of it, nearly a tank slapper through turn 7. The DRS for Roland is wide open, but it's just not close enough to make a move on Quick-Tid. And it's for these people who have made a pit stop, had front wing damage, it's too early to make a one-stop work still.
Yeah, these super soft tyres shouldn't last more than potentially 6-7 laps, and even lap 6 is going to be a real struggle for some of these guys. So I don't think anyone can really afford to. But ultimately, that incident on the last lap is Roland making a move here on Quick-Tid. He's going to get him under braking here, and there you go. That's how you do the move correctly. And that is position gained for Roland, up to P3 now, and he is in a great position to grab P2 as well, with Beastie with the damage. Yeah,
Roland showing some real class at the moment, and just keeping out of trouble, which is exactly what you want. And as we see Hubbardie and Caesar battling down into turn 1, Hubbardie gets the move done, and Caesar still battling away. If and how things stand, Hubbardie will be pole for the sprint race, and it's like a catch-22. You want to be in a good position for the race, but you also want some good points as well. But obviously, no, you can't have everything in this world. But Roland's not able to catch too much into Beastie at the moment. He's struggling.
I think the thing with Roland is he will just keep putting lap time after lap time in, and it'll be down to Beastie to make sure he can do it himself, as K11 gets 3 seconds of penalties there. And you can see that there, Beastie's going wide at the hairpin, which over the course of time will help Roland.
Obviously, is Hubbardie going quicker in that second sector there, but deep into the hairpin. Let's stay on board with Caesar and see if he can make an immediate move back. But penalties is proving to be huge here. That's absolutely massive with some drivers.
Is he going for a pit stop now? Okay, that's a surprise. He's obviously struggling enough with that front wing that he needs to go in the pit.
Yeah, it seems like it. Let's see what happens with Beastie. It's obviously a super soft time for him with the front wing change. Not too much time lost, it seems, because of the front wing, but enough. But they seem to be replacing the tyres over and over again. That seems like a little bit of a glitch.
It's a slow pit stop in this, unfortunately, because there's only one person per tyre as well.
I'm pretty sure they replaced his tyres 4 times. But yeah, coming out probably, well in front of Jupwood, but he's got some serious tyre nursing to do if he wants to be in a decent position come the end of this.
Yeah, it's a shame. I thought Beastie had a chance of really getting somewhere this time, but unfortunately, it looks like at this precise moment anyway, it's going to be a nice walk in the park for Caesar to the win. But battle, for second place is still there. Battle's further down. The grid's just starting to spread it a little bit, but these pit stops will be the difference maker later on.
And that's the thing, pit stops, we saw last week that it doesn't always necessarily mean, a good pit stop and the alternate strategy doesn't always work to your advantage.
Yeah, unfortunately everybody's doing the same strategy, so we've got that that thing that obviously the two stoppers, I think they will struggle to really make an impact in this race, but this race I feel like it needs a safety car just to really spice things up a little bit. I'm sure people will not like me for saying that, but the only battle in the grid right now is Quick-Tid and Roland.
Yeah, I've tried to will Total Caesar back to Hubbardie, but it's just not working. So let's go on board with Quick-Tid and see how he handles the pressure of Roland. Just up ahead, obviously overtaking him a few laps ago. But Caesar to Wizard has just controlled the race now. Since that little incident with Delta, he's not being caught by Roland and he's not really pulling away.
Yeah, I think it's they're very much matched in terms of pace right now, these two, which surprises me. But you know what? It goes to show that whatever your pace is in an F1 car, that means nothing when you jump into these cars. You've got guys like Codename Delta who are very quick, putting in pole position lap times compared to guys with Light Shock obviously failed his lap, but Frosted, who's an F2 driver, over a second quicker. So it's insane what you can do in this.
Frosted, after a disqualified qualifying lap, is back up to P6. That's a tongue twister and a half. So doing a good job there and fighting his way back through it. Forensic battling. I think that's the best he can describe right now, and he's not lost it completely. So, you know, he's better than the American Grand Prix. There's a little bit of kiss of the wall there from Roland, but thankfully there's no damage done to his car as he battles his way through the remainder of Sector 1 and into Sector 2. And maybe the pressure telling from Quicktid behind.
Yeah, Roland, do you know what? He will be thinking he's in a position, not necessarily that he doesn't deserve, but a position that he's maybe not used to. Well, guys like Quicktid, they are often, you know, the hunters. So this one's far from over. I think further down as well, I think Codename Delta is just closing that gap a little bit to the front guys, which is expected after obviously what happened. He is one of the quicker guys. And to be fair, I'm looking at Delta's tyre. If you actually go onto board with him, you can see the front right is not looking in nice shape at all.
There's Dom going to be lapped here. Spun it at the last sector, and is that front wing damage from Dom's car, or is that other people's front wing? No, that looks like Dom's front wing that was causing debris in the background. So that is thankful for the guys at the top there, but a little bit of heart-in-mouth moment nonetheless. I'm sure there is also possibles of other issues. And did you say it was codename Delta with the graining?
Yeah, if you look on his front right tyre, it looks like it is falling apart already. To be fair, the bit that was on there has actually fallen off. There was a little bit on the front right that looked like it was just flapping around, and it's just fallen off the tyre, I think.
But he's pulling away from his teammate, so it can't be affecting him too much behind. And Quicktid just not able to really mount an attack on Roland just yet. If anything, he's dropping back. I can't see any graining on his tyre. Maybe that front left a little bit, but Roland a little bit deep in the hairpin. But he's Roland's starting to turn the screw a little bit on Quicktid and showing a little bit of class.
Yeah, I wonder if Quicktid is actually struggling more than we thought he would with these cars. Codename Delta closing the gap. It's sort of a couple of tenths every lap, but the DRS is sort of keeping Quicktid far enough in front. But I wonder what happens when Roland gets to that 1 second. If he gets to the magical second gap before a DRS section, then Quicktid could be in trouble here from behind with both cars.
Caesar easily dispatched by Alpaca Carbon there, and exactly what Carbon would have wanted now into P8. But Caesar is coming back at him, but I think it's too far behind to make too much of an indent, and Key 1-1 going past Jobwood or battling through. Seems like the two of them having a little ding-dong.
Yeah, these two have been at it for a lap and a half. I've sort of been keeping a little bit of an eye on these two. It seems to be one gets past, then the other one comes back again, and then the other one gets past, and then the first one comes back again. So it's very much a, what happened there? We're just accelerated into the back of Key 1-1, and Key 1-1's gone round. That was, I think Jopward was going into the pits and forgot that he needed to let the other car go round the corner. That's not very good.
I'm just trying to see if I can re-catch it on the
Can
stream.
record that?
The stream seems to be quite massively behind on mine, so I'll keep an eye out on it. I know it's going to happen soon. Quicktid's still within range, and Caesar falling back. But I'm just re-watching it now. They're side by side going down the back straight, and oh yeah, a little nudge into the back and a penalty for Key 1-1. That's not what he would have wanted at all. Into the pits then for Caesar and Narwhal and Hubbardie, and also Jobwood is also in as well. But let's keep an eye on what Forensic can do here. Obviously, a lap before his teammate. I wonder how strong the undercut is here. He's been overtaken by Carbon and Frosted, but that's the only positions he's lost. As Beastie coming round into turn 1, I don't think it's going to be a problem for him at all. Plenty of room there, and as you look at the back left tyre there seems to be a little bit of tyre just hanging off, but nothing too serious as it's already come off. But let's see how quickly Narwhal can catch up and maybe get an undercut on his teammate.
This is the most important part of the race, because if Narwhal can make this lap count and the next lap, he could potentially be looking at a podium here. That's how much of a time gain there is. His tyres, once they warm up, they will be very, very quick. Remember, these guys are on 14-lap-old soft tyres. So let's watch out for that gap coming down just now. But in the pits come the front three as expected. P4 in as well, codename Delta. It's Frosted staying out for an extra lap though. Alpaca Carbon is also boxing. So this is where it becomes interesting. Let's keep an eye on where these cars come out.
So I'll stay on board as Forensic comes down, hurtling down the back straight into turn 13 and 14. The Wall of Champions doesn't nick it. That's good. That's straight down into turn 1 then. He is already past his teammate and could be right into a battle.
He's going to be right
Quickted.
behind Quickted, but on warm tyres.
So the cold tyres are Quickted and the fresh tyre, well, the warmed tyres are Forensic, but there's still a 3-second gap. I don't think it's going to be enough. There's a yellow flag, and is that Alpaca Carbon? No, it's F2XL Dom.
Dom, yes.
Oh, he's not having the best of lucks at that end of the race, the end of the lap. But Frosted still hasn't pitted. He's holding ground at the moment to Caesar, but I say holding ground. It's not a severe loss, but it is coming down.
And that's the problem about staying on those soft tyres for too long, is he probably needs to hope for a safety car, if anything, right now, to realistically make this race work, because as Narwhal putting in a purple middle sector there, so you can see what the difference is. He's already pulled sort of half a second on Quickted. I don't think it will be enough, but definitely cemented P4 at the very least.
Yeah, nice little lap time there as Caesar really is catching, but that is because of the pit stop. Alpaca Carbon then is quite close to Delta. He's had a really good outlap and pit stop compared to codename Delta.
Yeah, and this little bit right here is probably just as important as anything, because this is for reverse grid pole for the sprint race, and we all know just how important that can be. Narwhal last week took full advantage of it for so long, being miles ahead, as Caesar picks up his first penalty of the race.
So this is the other huge thing that we've not really touched upon. There is some big penalties to look out for here, and it's really going to change the way how qualifying will look.
Yeah, I'm looking at it just now. You've got 11 seconds for Roland, 11 seconds for Narwhal, 6 seconds for Quickted, 6 seconds for Beastie. Frosted could be potentially up as high as sort of P2 if he gets this right to the end of the race.
What a recovery that would be as well, but has he only pitted once? Yeah, he's only pitted...
I don't think he needs to pit again. That's him made his pit stop, so...
But he's on 7-lap-old supers already. There you're going to be screaming come the next...
Who, Frosted?
No, Beastie.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And Hubbardy as well. He's had a spin, but he's right up against Frosted now. If he can just keep up with that kind of pace, he's in with a real good chance.
As Beastie comes in the pits for his final stop of the race, unfortunately that will drop him right down the grid, potentially P11 out the points, depending on what happens here. He may get away with sort of sneaking out in P10, but it looks like at the moment our front two could be Alpaca Carbon and codename Delta. Yeah,
for round 2, the sprint race, that's definitely one to look out for. Just thinking, yeah, I think Carbon. What would you do in that position? Would you be happy with second on the grid, or would you just drop outside that 3-second window so you could get pole?
I think Carbon is quick enough to win, and I think he knows that with Delta is a very I don't want to say aggressive driver, but he's an elbows out driver. So I think Carbon will probably want to stay ahead of him on the grid for the start of the second race, but I don't think he'll complain about being behind Delta either, just in case there would be an incident in turn 1.
Yeah, plenty still to happen. Just over 3 laps to go, and Caesar 2 Wizard is leading this Grand Prix by 3 seconds to Roland at the moment. But Roland and Narwhal both on 11 seconds worth of penalties, which is going to change the grid order up significantly. Habadi picking up a penalty as well, but we are going to just stay on board with Alpaca for the moment. He's the closest battler going on at the moment as Delta loses the back end a little bit there, not keeping it quite as tight as he would have liked.
And Carbon really needs to, if he does want that position on track, he needs to keep putting pressure on him. But do you know what? It's all about making sure he keeps it within the white lines right now, because he's guaranteed at least 7th if he doesn't do that, and that's not a bad performance considering where he started.
Another penalty to Narwhal, and this could push him into a pole position sitting right now with these penalties coming in. I'm sure that's probably not what he would want to hear at all for the likes of his teammate or Alpaca Carbon, to be honest. Alpaca Carbon is dropping back from Delta as well, and Delta catching Habadi, so things still happening. Actually, I think he's going to overtake Habadi if he's not careful. Habadi really struggling these last few laps, and a little bit of tyre graining there on the front left of the Jack Haken car for codename Delta, and he nearly hits. Oh, he does just love kiss the back of Habadi there, so he's definitely got the pace advantage over the driver. But will they make a move into turn 1? Here comes Delta up the inside, and it's a pretty easy move in the end there for... Ooh, and a little love tap back.
You smashed my back end, I'll smash yours. That's what she said.
Yes. So Alpaca Carbon now back into this battle. And I wonder if he's got the pace advantage over Habadi like we saw Delta.
Carbon at this point could easily be as high as P5, looking at the gaps, to be fair. You know, he's 13 seconds behind Narwhal, so he's going to jump Narwhal, codename Delta, and Habadi at the moment.
Habadi seems to be struggling. I'm not sure how or what for. No, he won't make a move up the inside, but he just doesn't seem to get that hairpin right, and it gives the advantage to everyone else. And here comes Alpaca Carbon again, but I don't think there's enough going on. There is DRS open though for him. I wonder if he's going to have enough into turns 13 and 14. Here comes the overspeed, and surely that is into P7 for Alpaca Carbon.
And I think, barring a complete disaster, I think Habadi will be very close to the front of the grid for the start of the second race. But Alpaca Carbon, slightly fresher tyres, it's only by a lap, but I think that's the thing that's making all the difference right now, because Habadi's tyres are 1 lap older, and he just has no pace now, and he didn't beforehand. He was actually pretty on point, so I don't know what's happened there.
Well, let's go on board with Caesar 2 Wizard. We've not really seen much of him over the last couple of laps. Well, the last half of the race, to be honest, as he's not really had much to do other than just continue to control and eke out the lead over PRS Roland in second place. Down the back straight into turn 13, and Caesar 2 Wizard will definitely, barring a disaster into this Wall of Champions, will definitely win this race. He's had an absolute cracker as Jubwood picks up a 3-second time penalty there, but it's a victory for Wizard as he crosses the line. And yeah, great race from him. And here comes Roland then over in second place on the line, but he's going to lose out. Quick did currently second on the time screen. Here comes Forensic Narwhal. He'll drop back. And what will Frosted do? What will happen with Frosted? Will he grab that last podium position? I don't think it's going to be enough. It's only 4th place for him. Codename Delta across the line will finish above his teammate. Alpaca Carbon does come into 5th. Taz's prediction is correct. Habadi across the line in 8th place. Caesar will start 9th place, won't he? So after a great finish there. And here comes Beastie across the line. And what a race it could have been for him. An unfortunate incident for him there cost him big time. Forensic managing to hold out and finish the race after a very, very poor start. And will come home in 11th place. And F1XL Dom's already finished, but it's Jubwood. A little bit of stream time for him as he comes down the back straight.
Time to catch your breath.
Yeah, something like Now, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Mark got in touch with you over Twitter or anything.
In simple terms, he had multiple incidents.
Fair enough.
That's the way to put it.
Well, Alpaca Carbon gets driver of the day here for the feature race. What about you? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, it's between him and Frosted for me. I think Frosted, I'd give it to Frosted just because, you know, P4, again, another one who had to start right at the back. And he made an excellent recovery. But you know what? Credit to Prema as a whole. They had a very, very poor week last week. As I said, neither car managed to score a point in either race. So to then pick up a P2 and a P4 is the perfect way to bounce back. And the same with the Charouz team as well. Roland only picked up 1 point last week. He's already got himself a podium. And Carbon, who stepped in for Roll Hard Lad this week, has got himself in P5. So, again, 25 points for a team that got 1 last week.
Yeah, I mean, the fastest man on the track will go down to Delta, but you can see how close it was between him, Alpaca Carbon as well as obviously Caesar 2 Wizard in first place. That is some real strong finishing there. But Forensic Narwhal starting second. Alpaca Carbon gets driver of the day, obviously, from the game, and it's definitely, like you said, between him and Frosted. That's the two to watch out for. They had some real good pace and just pushing through. I mean, Beastie saying in the chat that he just couldn't get out of the way in time. I mean, remembering it in my head, I don't think anyone would have been able to get away in time. That was some crazy stuff. And clear skies now, not so dark and cloudy. Let's quickly have a look and see if everyone will go for the softs for the sprint race. It does look like it. I don't think anyone's going to be crazy.
It will almost definitely be. I don't think anyone's mad enough to do that, but you never know. This is F2. Anything can happen. But codename Delta, he's just pointed out in the chat, funnily enough, he's got himself an extra 2 bonus points as well for fastest laps. So 6 bonus points basically is what he's done so far.
And that's just for being the fastest man. I know Lightshock was could very well have been the fastest man had the game not messed him over a little bit. But let's have a look at it. It's Hubbardie on pole with Forensic alongside him. Codename Delta in third place with Alpaca Carbon in fourth. The third row of the grid looks like Frosted and PRS Roland. Seventh is Quicted. Eighth is Caesar 2 Wizard after that great victory. He's got his teammate alongside him just behind, though, in STR Total Caesar. So the two Caesars together. I'm sure there's something about a salad here. And in 10th place is Beastie NUFC. In 11th, we'll go to Forensic with Jobword in 12th. 13th is F1XL Dom with Key 11 in 14th. 15th is TMS Map 45. And if Lightshock has come back into the race, he will be in 16th place.
Yeah, I think already we need to look out for Codename Delta. If Codename Delta drives smart rather than stupid, and a little bit more patience, I personally think that he could win this race.
Now, this is where it all really boils down. 13 seconds left. Do we have a formation lap for this one as well? This is how bad I'm.
Yes.
There is a formation for this one.
A little bit warming the tyres again.
So the softs will be run here for the majority of these drivers from if they haven't made any last minute changes, which they probably shouldn't have done. But Hubbardie on pole, I'm really wondering how he's going to handle this. Because if I remember rightly from last week, he wasn't really in that sort of position at all.
No, he sort of... No disrespect to the lad, because he drove okay, but he was just sort of under the radar. He just, turned up, wasn't really noticed, and then went home again. And he picked himself up a point, I think, from penalties. I think it was the second race. But yeah, he didn't really do very much. So this week, to get himself a P8 in the first race, and then also get himself pole position for this race is going to be interesting to watch out for. Especially when you've got the Camposes. Both of them look racy. We've already spoken about Narwhal at least once today, saying he has got a lot of pace. And I think if both Campuses can get on with it, he's Hubbardie could find himself in a little bit of trouble going into the first couple of corners.
Well, both Campuses could use him as a defence mechanism as well. That's the other thing you've got to worry about. You're looking at Alpaca, Frosted, Roland and Quick did all very quick in that last race, as obviously Caesar as well. They've got to get past all the. Obviously, it's the same in every race. You've got to overtake someone. But if the Camposes get a car in between them and the rest of the grid, they could see themselves just push away a little bit, just eke away a lead, just keep on digging. Because both Narwhal and Delta were very, very quick last time out.
And you wonder if that's the thing. They maybe just need to get some clear air with nothing in front of them, and like cars behind them holding people up. That could be the difference maker between them. Finishing 7th and 8th again and potentially getting a 1-2.
Now, we'll just wait for everyone to filter into position. That's the best way to describe it. I don't think Light Shock is back in, unfortunately. Matt 45 doesn't look like he's back in either. I'm sure he rejoined the session, but we are waiting for them just to fill into position now. So we wait for the start of the 5 lights here for the last time in Melbourne in F2XL for this season. Here we go. 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. It seems like a really slow start there from the Campos in 3rd place, but he's actually got alongside his teammate, and Narwhal is in trouble. Surely they're not going to make contact as there's a gaggle of cars behind, as Alpaca and Roland fighting away as well. And I think Roland's had a really good corner, but Carbon's going to hold position. And the 2 Campuses have swapped around, but Roland and Caesar 2 Wizard that is, has had a cracking start. Quickted and Frosted had a terrible start.
Yeah, Quick did fallen down all the way down to 9th place already, and Frosted, you said they're P7 and under attack again, to be fair. The other Caesar is trying to attack Frosted there. Brilliant start from Roland. Narrow really got bogged down in the second part of the launch there, which allowed Codename Delta to get alongside him and made the move stick. So good driving there by both Campuses to not make sure they hit each other.
Quickted now and Caesar battling away, and I think that's Beastie going to make a move. And is there contact? I think there was a little bit of contact, and Quickted and Caesar lost the position, and here comes Forensic on Quickted as well. Well, surely not Beastie up the inside, around the outside, sorry. And now Quickted trying to get back on Beastie, and this is what these guys do not want, the likes of Quickted and Frosted, to get involved in this sort of battle. Let's have a look from Forensic's point of view. This 3 wide ahead of them, and oh God me! Oh, what has gone on there? That has caused a huge, huge crash.
That was unnecessary. That was very unnecessary. 3 wide there for no reason in particular, and it's killed the race of both of these guys as well. And Quick did. Oh, that is gutting. And virtual safety car there. Matt's retired from the session. I think he's just had enough for tonight. I don't blame him after that. And Beastie will be sitting there for a while by the looks of it.
Now, I'm just going to have a re-look at the stream. I'm a little bit far back, so I can re-watch it. I'm not sure how Matt45 got himself involved in this. And, I think Quick did just tried to... They was just running out of room. They were just running out of room. And 3 wide is very, very, very scary when it comes down to that point of view. However, let's get back to the race. And let's go look at Caesar 2 Wizard as he hunts down Roland.
Yeah, this is going to be very important for Roland because he needs to attack his own teammate as well, which he's going to be doing into the braking zone here. And I think he's going to have to move stick.
No, Carbon's managed to hold it for now, but the 2 battling away has let Forensic just eke out the DRS excavation zone, which is going to cause problems. And here comes Roland back on Carbon. There's no teamwork going on between the 2 of those, but they've got to work together, surely, as that Hubbardie into the pits.
Yeah, I think I seen the pop-up saying that he was speeding under the VSC, so he's got drive-through, which is absolutely gutting because he had this race under control, and it's gone, completely gone, down until 12th place there. And this is exactly what the Campos has needed. They've got the 2 Charouz cars behind, fighting each other, and these 2 need to try and escape. Whether that be Codename Delta goes and Narwhal be the blocker, or they both work together. But it looks like Delta has just decided, I'm going to run away. So let's watch this and see what happens.
Let's see what Forensic can do. Whether he can hold out station against his teammate, because he needs that DRS, or otherwise he's in trouble with Alpaca and Roland looking very racy, but also Wizard just behind as well, fighting his way through. But it looks like Wizard's under pressure from Frosted.
Yeah, Frosted is, after that poor start, he's managed to recover quite well, back up to P6. And he is keeping Caesar innocent, and I don't know if Caesar has got DRS. We'll have to keep an eye on that coming down here, because if he doesn't, it doesn't look like that wing is opening, and Frosted is on the attack here. Caesar having to do the odd thing of defending for a change rather than attacking everybody.
Yeah, well, now 1.5 seconds out, and that's Roland around.
Oh, Roland around.
What has happened to Roland? I wonder if I can catch that back on the stream, but he is in no man's land now, and after an issue with the virtual safety car last time, there's another one this time, and yeah, massive pain for him. But Quick is the fastest man on the track with those super softs, which is understandable, but we'll have to wait and see. The virtual safety car's still out, lap 4 of 14 here in Montreal, and we'll have to wait to see how it all pans out. I'm gonna just re-watch the stream, stay on board with Frosted, and just see if there is... Oh, I think he's just gone too far into the Wall of Champions. That is a little bit nightmarish for Roland there, and gutting, because he's now got to pit in P8. Drive-through penalty for Quick. That is not what he would have wanted at all for speeding under the safety car.
Yeah, he's already down in P14 and well out this race already, and then basically just pouring salt into the wound, never mind rubbing it. It's just gone from bad to worse to downright stupid for him, unfortunately. So, not the race for him tonight, unfortunately. Good first race, though. You can be happy with 18 points, and we'll see what happens. But Forensic Narwhal is on the attack now against his teammate, and Frosted and Caesar are in an absolute ding-dong. And I think Caesar's just picked up a 3-second penalty, something he didn't do the whole of the last race.
The pressure really is getting on.
Again on the attack.
And Frosted really wants the position. This is possibly what we didn't see from Frosted last race, because of everything that he had to deal with from starting at the back. But he's very, very quick and really attacking Caesar. But there's just not enough into it at the moment, and he needs to get past, because that 3-second time penalty is going to, the driver and the 3-second time penalty is just going to hold him up.
And more importantly than that, being stuck behind Caesar, they're losing time to the front three, because those front three are just trying to keep themselves away. And with the DRS train that's building there, Caesar's not got that. He needs to catch up, or he needs to maybe let Frosted pass to then attack later on.
And here comes Key1, or Key1-1. He's really starting to come into his own, like he did last week in America. His second race was a lot quicker. Quick retired from the session in the pit lane. He's had enough, unfortunately, and it's a real shame, because he had some real pace here tonight, and it just not enough. And Forensic really struggling to keep that car in a straight line. And here comes Key1. Surely this is going to be an overtaking opportunity for the young driver as he comes down the back straight, as we've got Taz's cat trying to commentate as well. And surely that is Key1 up into P8, and it's a move done before turn 13, and now his sights are set on Total Caesar, who's been overtaken by Chopwood as well. But let's go back to the battle for the lead. It's 3 oranges and blue.
Very interesting, because while you were sitting watching the battle with Key1-1, I was keeping an eye on the front three, and it looks like Narwhal is playing the team game. Narwhal had the chance to attack him going into the chicane, didn't. Had the chance to attack him going into turn 1, and didn't. He stayed behind his teammate, and more importantly kept Carbon behind, because that gap to Carbon dropped to under a quarter of a second. So I wonder if the Camposes are in agreement that this 1-2 in this position is the best possible outcome right now.
Well, it helps both parties, to be honest. Narwhal, a little bit of confidence, which is what he'll need, and Delta with that championship. But is that too much of a gap now? Let's go on board with Carbon. Let's look behind Caesar. I don't think he's going to make a move work, but I think the DRS is going to affect the American. It does open, but will the slipstream help at all? No, I think Carbon is just too far back now, and Narwhal having Alpaca did have a little look there.
Yeah, just a little sniff to try and, force a mistake, a little bit like what happened in the last race with Narwhal being the aggressor with Matt. Just trying to put the car in a position to make Narwhal think twice before turning in. as a lapped car of Beastie, I think that is. Maybe just put Narwhal off slightly there, but yeah, Beastie's already out this race, unfortunately. That's a shame. As Narwhal picks up a 3-second penalty, that is going to be big for this race.
He now has
So
to
is it a
play.
case that... Yeah, he's going to have to, isn't he? Just hold up Carbon as long as possible.
Carbon looking very, very racy, but where does, Forensic, he might pick up some DRS and some slipstream from Beastie here, which will help him just that little bit further on. Hubbard picking up a 3-second time penalty, and what an unfortunate race for him. He's now down into 11th place, and we're down to 14 of the 16 runners, and let's see. I think Forensic is gonna get some DRS. Caesar 2 Wizard is really pushing behind, but I think Frosted is starting to struggle behind him.
Yeah, the gap's sitting about a second right now. I think it's something to keep an eye on because he's obviously outside the DRS train as well, which is not what he wants. And the biggest problem he's got is the cars in front. Beastie, codename Delta, Forensic. They've all got DRS, and Forensic's got DRS partly because Beastie's there. Because if Beastie wasn't there, I don't know if Narwhal would have kept the gap under a second, to be fair.
And there is Key One as well, making a move in the same place as he did with Forensic to total Caesar, and now up into 7th place. It's 3.5 seconds he's got to get to Jutwood, and I wonder if that is going to be enough time for him to do it. He's only just over 6 laps to go, but let's go on board with Caesar as Frosted really is struggling now.
Yeah, it's under a second though, which means he's got the DRS, so if he can keep that, he will get into that train, and it looks like there's a yellow flag, and Forensic is crashed out in, what's that, turn 5, I think it is?
Oh, I've just gone off board of Caesar, and Caesar's had a moment.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got damage from that, but yeah, he has. He's lost a left end plate, which will hurt him. And the championship leader right now is in a little bit of danger here.
Yeah, so the pressure was telling from Frosted in the end. I wonder, he kind of has to pit, because I don't think that's going to be enough to defend. And Alpaca Carbon must be getting really frustrated with Narwhal right now, as he just can't make a move. But I think Delta's made a mistake, and Narwhal, he, again, doesn't make the move.
He's playing the team game, and whether it be the good thing or not, I personally think it's a smart thing to do, because he knows he's got that 3 seconds, Delta doesn't, and Carbon, if he goes past, Carbon will then have free air to attack codename Delta. So Narwhal is playing such a smart team game here right now.
That's Dom overtaking the Ghost of Slight Shock in 11th there. Just try to see where Forensic's car was, but it wasn't unfortunately anywhere on the screen. So let's go on board with Caesar 2 Wizard as he continues his return, I suppose, to attacking mode on Frosted in P4. Obviously, with everything that's going on, let's have a look at the penalties. At the moment, Narwhal's going to drop out and Frosted's going to be on the podium with Carbon, but obviously still plenty of racing left to go. As
it looks like that Caesar is going to be, as you said, on the attack mode, and this is with a damaged car as well. He is making a move on Frosted coming in towards the last couple of corners here, turn 13, and the move is stuck. There you go. Caesar all the way back up into 4th place already. And the first 3 still just sitting there.
Frosted had a better line through 13 and 14 and now going around the outside. Surely not. He thinks better of it from that damaged car in front. But Caesar 2 Wizard, like you say, with a damaged car is doing phenomenally.
And this is going to be interesting again, because look at that gap building up already. 1.5 seconds. They've dropped all the way behind Carbon as Narwhal picks up another 3 seconds. So that's going to drop him even further back now, to be fair. It's not going to be a good finish. I think maybe P5, P6 for him in the end. But ultimately, he's playing the team game right now, and that's all that matters.
Key One really starting to turn the screw on Jutwood as well. It's now 2.4 seconds. As Jutwood make a mistake, I think. Must have made a mistake for it to reduce that much. Is there damage to that car? It doesn't look like it, but Key One now, it's under 2 seconds. He's caught a massive amount. I don't know what they put under Key One's car in the hood or whatever you want to call it, but he is really putting the hammer down.
And Key one, this is what he's capable of. But unfortunately, the incident in the first race, he's never recovered from it. Unfortunately, which is it's just one of those things. And I'm sure he will next week be back where it's going to be back up to full pace where he belongs.
And Plenty still battling away. Forensic Narwhal really still under pressure from Alpaca Carbon. He's doing everything he can though to protect his teammate Delta from that man. And you do wonder when it starts to get to the point of when Narwhal go, right, get out of DRS range. I will hold up for Sector 1. You just fly off. I'm sure that is all going to come soon. But Frosted really, really struggling. And considering Caesar 2 Wizard has damage, he is doing an incredible race.
It goes to show you why he's the championship favourite right now. With a damaged car, he's probably one of the quickest guys in the track right now.
There goes Dom picking up a 3-second time penalty down in 10th place. That's not going to help him with 11 seconds worth now. Roland down in 13th as well with penalties. He's not having the best of days either. That's still just not enough. I mean, Narwhal's doing everything he needs to do in P2 right now. Obviously
it's coming out of that last sort of the hairpin going into the long straight. I don't know what it is, but Narwhal just seems to grab enough traction going into that corner just to fill the gap on Carbon where it goes up to 0.8, 0.9 of a second. And he just doesn't recover.
Carbon struggled through through 13 and 14 and now side by side with Caesar 2 Wizard. How is he doing this with damage? But he's all over the back of Carbon, surely not around the outside of 2. He thinks better of it, but he's got some serious pace and really pushing Alpaca Carbon, and this is going to help the two teammates up front. And the Carbon's made a mistake. He's nearly tank slapping it, and now there's a 2-second gap. This is surely advantage to the Campos Racing team.
As Roland puts in the fastest lap of the race just to nick points away from somebody. I think it was Carbon that had it beforehand. But Campos, they've played it well this race, and you know what? Narwhal has played the team game, and Codename Delta is going to absolutely reap the rewards from this.
That is exactly what they would have wanted at the start. We spoke about what they needed to do, and it's effectively done that. Though it didn't go all their way. Hubbardie didn't exactly, become a pushover, but let's see what Caesar 2 Wizard can do. He's been incredible so far down this back straight, and he's all over the back of Carbon. Why? Let's have a look, see what kind of angle he does. I think Carbon must have made a mistake last time round, because he's not that close again, but he's got Frosted for company behind as well, Caesar 2 Wizard. So there's plenty still battling for, and Key 11 hasn't actually made much more stick to Jupwood behind, so there is obviously problems with him. Maybe he's just burnt his tyres out.
Yeah, we're at that point now where tyre management is more important than the actual downright pace. And I think that's what's happened here. Dom picking up a 3-second penalty there. However, I'm just looking across the grid, and it looks like that, Frosted at this precise moment, if he can, I'm more hope than anything that Carbon and Caesar have either a coming together or a little bit of battling, then jumping Carbon and potentially taking it as high as P2 at the end of the race.
So still all to play for. Obviously, if Alpaca Carbon picks up a penalty with all this pressure, and nearly Caesar 2 Wizard goes into the back, and there is contact between him and Frosted. That's not going to help matters at all, and that's going to alleviate some of the pressure that was on Carbon, and Carbon might be able to get back into at the two Camposes now after I've lost my teeth.
But is it too little too late? 2-second gap with going into the final lap here, and Team Campos just getting on with it. 2.3 second gap now. If Carbon keeps making these mistakes, Narwhal could be finishing higher than we think.
Well, not just that, but the Frosted is, his podium's not off the cards, but they've really got to start working this out, and Codename Delta is possibly now just pulling Narwhal along. We'll have to wait and see how it all comes down. It's a shame not to see Mechanics, even though he's in the chat, in the race, because he was pretty solid last time out from the second race in Austin. But we'll have to wait and see if he does race again. And let's go on board then.
He'll be back next week. definitely. As Frosted picks up a
No.
3-second penalty, that's huge. Frosted has dropped himself out of the podium position with that.
And that's Caesar
Now
2
he needs
Wizard.
to make the move on Caesar.
I'm going to go on board with Codename Delta for the final bit of this race. Frosted has a lot of work to do. I'll let you... Actually, let's go on board with that just before. I wonder if... I don't think Frosted's going to be close enough. They go defensive down the back straight. It's not going to happen.
Codename Delta letting Narwhal win the race. I
Oh.
like that.
Oh,
And
no,
Narwhal
no.
picks up another 3 seconds.
Alpaca picks up a penalty as well. Codename Delta is going to win it. Forensic Narwhal on track, but this is huge. What happens? See, Frosted takes it. Frosted takes the final podium space by 0.022 of a second. Jutwood will finish sixth. No, Key11 will finish sixth with Jutwood going miles off track in 7th place there. Caesar should take 8th without fail, with Hubbardie in 9th place. F1XL Dom coming down there, but what an end. What an absolute end. Frosted did everything he could.
I'm not sure how Frosted got given P3 out of that, from being honest with you, because it looked like that he finished behind Caesar, but I might be wrong. But Narwhal picking up so many penalties there, and in the chat going, Codename Delta very happy. Key11 driver of the day. Gareth, what do you think?
A great recovery drive. So it's a big shout, but you've got to give it to the man that finished on the top step of the podium. He absolutely controlled everything. As soon as he got given that opportunity, he controlled it. Great teamwork between the two of them at the Campos, as we've lost Mr. Tazo. But let's open the party up. So I'm not sure what's happened with Taz there. I'll see if he messages me on WhatsApp. Hope there's no problems there. But what a way to end the race. Codename Delta then taking victory with no penalties to his name. A nice 15-point margin added to his point score. Alpaca Carbon will finish 2nd place with Frosted in 3rd. 4th place goes to Caesar 2 Wizard, and 5th for Forensic Narwhal. KU11 in 6th, with 7th going to Jutwood and STR Caesar. Finishing out the point scoring positions with Hubbardie, F1XL Dom, Lightshock Roland and Beastie are all finishing outside the points, with no DNFs going to Forensic, Quickdid and Matt45. Now, while we wait and sort everything out, we will see if there is podium questions or anything. Frosted did wow, look how close that was, 0.022 of a second. And I've got to invite this man back in. Hopefully that'll work for him. As we just wait to make sure it is connected. It is connecting.
That was entertaining though. I think we need to speak to one of the people from the end of that race. What do you think?
Definitely. I'm glad it stopped connecting for you, because that was a bit worrying at times. But who did your driver of the day go to? Because we never got the chance to ask.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult, but I'm going to give it to the race winner from race 2 there. I think, do you know what? Actually, no, I'm going to give it to his teammate. The reason being is I think that he did a stellar job in winning Delta that race. I think Delta himself will agree as well, the fact that Narwhal drove like a proper number 2 driver there.
Definitely. As we I put in the chat, you might have not seen, the teamwork there was on point, keeping him in the DRS so he can move forwards, keeping him behind seconds. But very good race.
Yeah, and obviously we were sitting watching, and that almost seemed like the perfect race for you, to be fair. Hubbardie making a mistake, getting the drive-through penalty under the VSC, and then you and Narwhal just working together like an absolute unit to keep 1-2.
Yeah, as long as he didn't, if he didn't get the penalties, that would have been amazing. But it happens.
And then even when you let him pass, he still managed to pick up another penalty. Anyway, obviously you've managed to pick up 2 points for the fastest lap and the 6 points from race 1, as well as the fastest lap, or the pole position, sorry, and then the win there. Nice haul of points for you. Obviously, you probably lost a little bit of ground to Caesar, but probably sitting P2 after all that. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy. Any points is good for me. So
Yeah, and is the aim just to sort of keep going and see what happens, or do you think that you could potentially finish top 3 in the championship?
I do think I can get up there, definitely, but we just have to see from the season. Only 2 races so far, so no one knows what's going to happen.
Good. Well, honestly, we look forward to the next 10 weeks, I think it is, I've still got. And watch the progress happen. Gareth, I'm going to let you take over for the second person in the party.
Oh, I don't usually do podium questions.
Nice to you.
Okay, cool. It's Frosted, isn't it? Frosted is in here. Frosted, I mean,
Yes.
talk us through that. I mean, what a crazy final lap.
Yeah, what a crazy final lap. Coming in, onto it. Oh my god, I've just given myself a 3-second penalty. What the hell am I going to do? I need to pull something out of the bag. What do I do? Get third by 0.02. What a run to the line. Thank God I had a low downforce setup on.
I mean, talk us through just how, like, because you were obviously just on the last corner, you weren't third. On the line, you were.
Yeah, well, there was a penalties up ahead. I didn't realise it had high. Obviously, it went higher because I couldn't see that high. And I knew Caesar was had a penalty in front of me, and then I got a penalty, and I was like, I either got to do it on the last lap to the line somehow. He's got DRS as well. This is going to be tricky. And I just got a phenomenal exit out of that last chicane. And just kept in the toe for as long as I could. And went straight to the time trial line. So I got a blast off and went to the time trial, so I got the shorter route to the line with an overspeed. And just got me there. And then I looked up, and after thinking, oh my god, what have I just done? Don't want to look. And there it was. Third place. I don't really know how I did it. I'm gonna have to watch that back because it was like something that's out of the world. I've never done that. I've been close, but I've never managed to put it off.
Overall, you must be pretty happy with the way
The night's gone.
the night's gone. Yeah.
Considering I did exactly what Lightshot did. Final corner, it validated myself exactly like Lightshot, and it would have put me third by time. Lightshot would have been pole, so I would have been fourth there. So we both validated, we both messed up, and I was able to make headway in the feature and come through the field against people, whereas Lightshot couldn't because he was running more downforce, and I mean that helped me. That then coming into the reverse grid, it didn't gain much basis because I was in the middle of it. Lost a couple of places off the line. That he went really quick, and yeah, just the rest is history.
Fair enough. Tazo, anything to add for Frosted?
I mean, after last week, you threw away a win. Let's be honest. Obviously, second race wasn't really much for you. To come back from 0 points to picking up a P4 in the feature race and then a P3 in the sprint race. Not a bad way to recover, is it?
Yeah, an excellent recovery. A good load of points there to bring back to Bremer. And considering, USA, I just chucked it away. Just challenging in the first race, chucked it away, and then the second race was just caught up in an instant or someone else's, which just sounds like my F2XL career going on right now. Just the racing standards for everyone I was racing was a lot better around on Canada, and I hope that was the way across the whole field. Everyone's just learning. These cars are tricky. They are not like the F1 cars. They like to slide. They like to snap. they like to bite.
Yeah, we noticed that a few times tonight, and especially I think the last sort of lap. I don't know if you would have seen this as well, being behind the, but Alpaca Carbon basically looked like he was driving on ice the last couple of laps. Back end
Yeah,
sliding
he was
everywhere.
struggling a little bit there. I've managed to work on my setup to kind of help the tyre wear somewhat, so that I have something at the end. Because I know these tyres on sprint can be near the end. So good.
Yeah, and I suppose one last question for both of you. I'll go with the codename data first. Japan next week. You going for 3 poles in a row?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Thanks, Ring. Right, you've had your question. Goodbye. No,
He said, "Are you gonna bottle it?"
no, I'm
Definitely.
asking. Do you think Japan 3 poles in a row?
We can always hope.
And Japan, is it a track you like, or is it one that you're not keen on?
Fucking hate it.
Back to reality for you then. And Frosted, what about you? Thoughts on Canada? On Japan, sorry.
Curbs of Death. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of crashes, a race of attrition. If everyone thought Canada was bad, wait till you get to Japan. Sending like the F1 cars around there, we are going to have an event race.
Well, fingers crossed there's some good racing like there was in that second race, because that was edge of your seat stuff for quite a lot of it, I'm not going to lie. However, I will hand you back to Gareth to sum up the Montreal, not the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Fair enough.
I heard it. I heard it.
That's completely put me off. But thank you very much to the podium sitters of that final sprint race there that have joined us. A cracking race throughout. Some incredible driving as per what seems like the usual in F2. We've definitely got a cracking little event going on. Now, we will be back for the main F2XL event on Sunday night at 2100 hours, where you'll hear my voice once again. If you can't get enough of it, you'll have Ollie with me. Oh, well, I'll have Ollie with me as well. And there's the other leagues being commentated on as well. Please check out our Twitter for those ones. And I think from us, from a Wednesday here at F1XL and F2XL, goodbye.
Down the inside.
What a move!
At dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky, never raised the night to me.
Oh, how has he managed that as well?
Wow.
Will he go on the inside? Oh, he tried it. Oh, squidgy's
Ooh,
out.
big crash there. Turn 15, isn't it?
Oh no!
Oh, he's dropped. What a move for the SF.
Wow.
Jolly, world champion for the second time in a row. Vidal is a 4-time champion. And Harvey is the F1XL Season 17 champion.